Hello guys, and welcome to my Werewolf build for the Elsewhere chapter. This is a medium armor build for the Stamblade, basic as a werewolf, and I'm actually quite amazed that I managed to actually cook up a medium armor build for werewolf, because usually they don't work out too well, but this one actually does work extremely well. I'm actually quite amazed myself. It has good health, good damage, good sustain. I actually had a very funny 2v7 yesterday. Well, it worked out pretty well until 7 more guys came. I think the last one, all of them were standing, and then his whole group came again. Anyway, so yeah, it works pretty well. I posted a few gameplay videos in the end, like a few 1v2s I had. Nothing too special, but you'll basically see what the strength of this build is. Anyway, first we will go over the stuff I use: potions, buff food, etc., armor sets. Then we will go over my Mundustone, attribute points, etc., skills in human and in werewolf form. Then we'll do the champion points, and then we're basically finished. So, first, the class, we use a Nightblade, and that is mainly because of this ability. Now, it's a bit weird, described a bit weirdly, but how it works is that basically if you use 5 light attacks while this thing's active, you'll get basically 15% damage reduction. And this carries on even if the relentless focus wears off. So when you use this going to werewolf form, I literally just tested it, that's why I'm saying it with certainty. So even if you use the relentless focus buff going to werewolf form, until you get out of combat and you lose the relentless focus buff, because it only wears off if you go out of combat, you will have 15% less damage incoming as a Stamblade werewolf. That's why medium works actually pretty well in this, because you have 10k free resistances on top. It's pretty amazing actually. And also the second reason why I like Nightblade is because of this one. This one combined this passive with a few trash pots like these ones, and you can basically charge up a werewolf out of combat. I mean, here you can see, boom, 490. It's like in every 10 minutes around you can have a free werewolf basically. And of course the shadow passive with extra recovery is also never bad. So yeah. Anyway, so that's why I like being a Nightblade. Khajiit is mainly because it has the most, well, it's like hybridy like passives, and Khajiit's awesome, so yeah. It has like health recovery, stamina magica recovery, max health, stamina magica, critical damage and healing. And this less detection radius has actually saved my life more than once. Especially when people come around spamming revealing flare and shit like that. Anyway, so yeah, that's why we are Khajiit. And anyway, the potions that I like using most, since we are in werewolf form, we don't have major brutality because I'm using the other morph of the, I think it's Hircines Fortitude. We use as essence of weapon power, which gives us crit, weapon damage, and gives us stamina back. Since we don't really need the magic sustain. I'll tell you why later. You can also use these ones, which give you expedition instead of speed if you're like in a hectic situation, trying to kite or something. These ones also work pretty well. Lingering health if you like deep duty and you want to get out. Invisibility for running away. This one if you're fighting mag decays especially. Otherwise they'll drain your stamina so badly, even though it's gotten better though since the last patch. And these ones are like general purpose potions, which you should always never leave home without. Buff food wise, we use Aetherm takeaway broth. Since the extra health, since we're not using Bonfire, an extra health regen comes in really handy. I mean, if I use a potion, like, my health recovery is literally at 1.6k, which is freaking awesome. So yeah, that does come in handy. Then never mind the small stamina bar, because that's been a bug for ages. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we use armor set wise, right? We use 5 pieces Desert Rose. That's a set which you can get from crates, I think in Vlastress or something. Just Google it up. We use dual wield, dagger and sword on our main hand for a bit of crit and a bit of extra raw damage. we enchanted with shock and weapon damage for the minor vulnerability and the weapon damage bonus. On the back bar we also use Desert Rose. You can use, theoretically you could use like Master or something if you feel up for it, but honestly I don't really care. So I made it Nirnhond, but that's because it was Nirnhond. You can probably make it defensive as well and work with it. As a monster set we use the Mighty Chuden, which is a set from the Ruins of Mazatun. Those ones are in, that's somewhere I'm going to bleep hole. Great Love Shadows. Yeah, here it was. In the Ruins of Mazatun. Drops from the final boss or in the middle chest from the Undaunted Enclave. Then we, as a monster set, we use 5 pieces of Curse of the Night Mother's Gaze. This is a craftable set which you can find in Northern Reaper's March, somewhere here I think. Old Town Cavern. And basically, when you crit an enemy, you apply Major Fracture for 6 seconds. In human form, this is also because Nightblades do have a bit more crit passes than others, and in Werewolf form, that means that our dots will essentially keeping Major Fracture on them easy, which increases our damage by stat 6-7% easy. Well, that's a 6%. So yeah, this is pretty nice. And on the jewelry, we use Desert Rose as well. Make it all robust. You can also make it Triune if you really want to, but you don't need to. We have enough health as it is. Enchanted 2 times weapon damage and 1 times stam recovery. For the prismatic list, I like putting 1 big or 2 small pieces. That's enough to get to a decent health value, and the rest in stamina. Now, the reason why we use Desert Rose is basically, A, we get more resistances, good health, good magicka, and the thing is, when you take damage, we have a 50% chance to restore magicka. 50% chance, that is pretty high. I think that's like almost double a blood spawn. So it procs on cooldown when you're even taking moderate amounts of damage. So that's like having a 1.2k magicka recovery on top, which is pretty amazing. So basically, that solves our biggest problem, namely our magicka sustain. Usually, you can take a lot of punishment before you run dry on magicka. I can tell you that. It's actually pretty amazing. So anyway, we got the sets down. We use 5-1-1 setup with 5 medium, 1 heavy, 1 light. Try to make the chest heavy and the shoulders light. That's usually how the resistances work out best. As a attributes, we put all into stamina. And as a Munderstone, we use the Steed for extra speed and the health recovery, which gives us a nice mobility. As a Werewolf, we don't really have snare removal, so I'll take all the speed that I can get. Plus, in human form, having a Steed Mundus is really crazy because you can actually kite pretty easily again without getting stuck everywhere or in AoE fields. So, skills in human form. We use Surprise Attack as a main spammable. This is unbuffed, so yeah. Then we use Killer's Blade. You can probably also use Steel Tornado if you really feel like it. I don't like it, especially since it got nerfed. I'm actually thankful that I can drop it. Then we use Ambush to get the minor vulnerability for 8 seconds versus the target in human form. And then, of course, Relentless Focus for the damage mitigation, which means that you shouldn't use a Spec Bow unless you can really help it. And Resolving Vigor, which is under the Assault skill line, which is healing over time. Then we use, of course, the Werewolf. For the PC players, I would say use the other morph. For console players, use the Pack Leader morph. It's that literally that simple. Then we use Rally for a burst heal. And then we use the Phantasmal Escape, which was before it was called Double Take, which it changed so that it gives you a snare removal for 4 seconds, which is equal to forward momentum, which means I can drop forward momentum and actually get myself a pretty good shuffle equivalent, which is actually much better than shuffle. It only costs magicka, but since I'm using Desert Rose, it's okay. Then we use Shadowy Disguise, Nightblade's signature ability, Leeching Strikes for the stamina sustain, and Shadow Image. Now that actually scales from the major resource, so it actually does pretty nice damage. It's like 20 seconds, it hits for like 700 or so per second. It's something like 14-15k or so over the duration. As an ultimate, you can use whatever you want. You can actually start in-cap here if you feel like it. Soul Siphon is also a very nice possibility. Onslaught if you just want to have like a backup opportunity to kill someone quick and then get your ultimate fast. And then then in Werewolf form. As Werewolf form, we use from left to right Claws of Anguish, which was actually buffed quite a lot. It actually has a decent tooltip right now. I mean, for the instant damage component. Then we use Howl of Agony, Ferocious Roar to put them off balance, And when we put them off balance, that means they get a 10% 10% more damage. I think, where was it? Here, 10% more damage against enemies off balance. And then we also use Feral Pounce. The damage was also buffed last patch, I think. And then Hircines Fortitude. And then, of course, the pack leader Werewolf Morph. And as I said, if you're a PC player, use the other morph. Seriously, this morph is only good for console players because it messes up with your targeting. Now, if you're using the Berserker morph, put 40 points on the Thaumaturge. If not, dump him into piercing and precise strikes. Try to get to like 4k pen, and dump the rest into precise strikes. So as you can see here, 56 on the Mighty, 51 on the Piercing, 40 on the Precise Strikes. Since our crit ratio is actually pretty good, I think it's like 45% or so in Werewolf form. 56 on the Mastered Arms, 35 on the Physical Weapon Expert, and then 32 on the Blessed to get the Spell Precision passive. 51 on the Tumbling, since we're in a medium build. I balance it up between Moonculf, Healthy, and Tenacity to get the Windrunner passive. We don't need Arcanist since we don't rely on magic recovery anyway. Then we use 3 on the Sprinter, 44 on the Warlord, and 43 on the Siphoner. This procs basically on cooldown since we only do light attacks. So, and this is actually a pretty nasty way of ruining someone's sustain. It's actually much better than Befall, if you ask me. If you can put like 10% into here, you can wreck someone. Because, for example, if he has like a 2k stam recovery, and suddenly it gets reduced by 10%, that's like 200 less, and he will feel that. Then from the red tree, we put 37 on the Hardy and Elemental Defender, 51 on the Thick Skin to reduce all the incoming darts, which is like everything nowadays. Then we put 72 on the Ironclad to reduce the directly incoming damage, like Incast, Dawnies, stuff like that. 37 on the Resistant and 36 on the Medium Armor Focus. This is to compensate the resistances we get from the Desert Rose, so that we have a nicely equally balanced out resistance value, which is around 23k in PvE modus. And then yeah, anyway, this is the CP. And that's pretty much it. The thing is, you'll especially with the resistances, you'll find out that this build is surprisingly tanky. I mean, I took it for a spin yesterday in the patch just dropped on console, and I was like, wow, okay. Even when I was getting like completely swamped by people, the highest values like on executes mages rather was like 3-4k or so. So the damage mitigation is actually pretty crazy. Since when you go into werewolf form, the resistances are at 33k, and the damage goes up to like 4.2k with continuous and the glyph. And then if that's 33k resistances, and you add the 15% on top of that, so that's around 43k effective resistances in medium armor. So yeah, pretty nice, pretty sweet. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you have any more questions or stuff like that, just put them in the comment section. I'm usually happy to answer them if I don't forget. And yeah, that's it. Peace out, guys.